Get underway. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. Cynthia Tomaine here with Interactive Brokers, and we are very pleased to have with us this afternoon Michael Naus, analyst, educator, and professional trader. With him, we also have on hand today Sean McLaughlin, who is the Senior Marketing Strategist of Trade Ideas Incorporated. So with that, would you please join me in welcoming both gentlemen to discuss algorithmic trading? Now, Michael, I'm going to go ahead and make you or pass you the presenter controls. If you would go ahead and share your application, we'll get underway here this afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Michael, and welcome.
Hi, Cynthia. Actually, Sean is going to be speaking first.
Oh, sorry, Sean. Oh, yeah, I apologize.
Okay. No worries.
Okay. Oh, well, let me go ahead. Michael, if you can share your presentation, and we'll go ahead and let Sean speak. Sean, take it away.
Okay. All right. I believe I am sharing my screen now. Is that correct? Here we go. Show my screen.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you are, Sean.
All right. And let's see. You guys can see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Fantastic. Let's get going. Thank you, Cynthia, for the introductions. My name is Sean McLaughlin, as Cynthia said, from Trade Ideas, and I'm joined by my colleague, Michael Naus, and we are going to talk to you about algorithmic trading. So let's jump into the slide deck here. We have to always start out with our disclaimer. The types of securities forms and research tools used in this webinar are for demonstration purposes only and should not be considered a recommendation by Interactive Brokers and its affiliates, etc., etc. Hope that's all good for everybody. And again, these are who you're talking to. These are the handsome gentlemen, or at least Michael's handsome. I'm not so handsome, but here we are, and we're both very active on Twitter. So if you ever want to reach out to us after this call, you can see our Twitter handles listed there. Reach out to us. We're both pretty friendly. Michael's Canadian, so he's very friendly.
Yeah, I have to be, or they kick me out.
All right, so I'm gonna start out with a little bit of a personal story here. There I found myself, it was the spring of 2007, for reasons that would become known later as the financial crisis unfolded and ravaged the markets for a couple of years. I found myself with my hands in my face, failing once again. What was happening? I didn't blow up my account. It wasn't any radical, any exciting story about blowing up. That's not what happened. It was just I found myself once again back at square one, having been executing on a strategy that no longer worked because the market had changed, which we later found out it was because the financial crisis was about to begin. I didn't know that at the time. Nobody did. But a strategy I had been executing on for probably about a year with moderate success, all of a sudden just was not working anymore, and I was slow bleeding away my account. And I was just, here we go again, Sean. I've been trading, at that time I've been trading since 1998, so we were about 9 years in, and I was about to embark on maybe my third full reset as a trader. So this is important because it kind of sets the stage for how we are addressing some of the deficiencies that I have learned about myself as a trader. So we're going to gloss over some topics here real quick about why traders fail. And I'm not going to break any ground here. I think most people are familiar with a lot of these reasons. And these are in no particular order. But one place that novice traders or even experienced traders get themselves in trouble comes down to position sizing. Just putting on trades that are either, in most cases, too big for the amount of risk they're comfortable taking. Sometimes people just trade too small and then they just don't get anywhere. But it's usually a function of trading too big relative to the equity they have, and they don't give themselves the opportunity to endure a drawdown or consecutive losing trades, which happen in any strategy. Or even if you're just a gunslinger and you don't have a strategy, odds are you're going to have a losing streak. It's just the way it is. It's a numbers game. There's no avoiding it. Another reason traders often fail is because they take big losses, and this is related to position sizing, but it also means people take losses, meaning they trade, they don't honor stops, so they don't have a stop in place. They don't have a plan for when the trade goes south. Okay, once the trade starts going south, they sit on their hands, they're frozen, they freak out, they pretend it doesn't exist. I mean, we all play all these types of mental games to help us sit through these pains. But the fact of the matter is, a big loss takes you out of the game, and we have to avoid big losses because it only takes one big loss to completely wipe you out. Another reason traders fail is they might have a winning strategy, but their strategy is winning, quote unquote winning. They're going for a high batting percentage or hitting percentage because they're taking wins way too quickly. You know, they put on a trade and they buy a stock and they're up 50 cents and boom, they take the win off the table. And combining that with taking losses that are too big, boy, that's just a recipe for disaster. You have to have the occasional large win. In fact, many of the most successful strategies out there, I'm not saying all strategies, but many of the most successful strategies out there, they are successful because of the occasional large win that makes it all worth it. And if you're in the habit of constantly taking small wins, well, you'll never have that big win. You never give your trades a shot. Another reason traders fail, and this was certainly true with me, is just having poor strategies. You might not know, maybe your strategy is poor because you just don't have a good exit strategy, or maybe it's poor because you haven't considered the effects of different market environments. I mean, there's a million reasons why a strategy could be poor, but maybe you just haven't put in the work to back test it and to stress test it and to see how it works and to understand the ups and the downs. A fifth reason could be undercapitalization, right? I mean, so many people come into trading with, $5,000, $10,000, thinking they're going to make a living off of that kind of capital. And certainly it has happened, and I have seen it happen. But the odds are significantly stacked against any trader who comes into the market undercapitalized, because the fact of the matter is there is a learning curve to trading, and you're going to suffer. Even if you don't lose money in the beginning, your best hope, or at least my best hope when starting, was just I don't want to lose a lot of money, but I can't expect to make a lot of money either. If I could just tread water for several months while I learn all the ins and outs, that will help. But if you're undercapitalized, it becomes really hard because commissions are going to eat into your capital. The frequency of trading is going to eat into your capital, and even when you do well, it's just it's not going to be worth it for you if you're trying to make a living at this game. A sixth reason traders fail is wrong expectations. This kind of goes towards what we were talking about with the undercapitalized traders. If people come into this game, I mean, everybody is seduced by the idea of making a living as a trader. I mean, there's lots of marketing out there that kind of sells that dream. I mean, we've all seen the guys on Twitter and Facebook who are, sitting on a boat with a laptop and trading from there and putting out the persona that they're rich and this is easy and you can do it too. Think what you want about those people. The message that they're sending out into the world is probably misguided. If you come into this game expecting that you're just going to come in with 20 grand and you're going to spend a few weeks learning how to buy and how to sell and how to read a chart, and then next thing you know, you're going to be making $1,000 a week, well, you're setting yourself up for a lot of frustration. And a seventh reason, and by the way, these are not all inclusive, okay? These are not all inclusive. I'm certainly leaving a lot of things on the table or off the table, but we'll wrap up here with being undisciplined. And I am absolutely guilty of being undisciplined from time to time. In fact, that might be it might be my second biggest hang up as a trader is when things don't go according to your plan. Are you one who will stick to your plan regardless, or will you make smart adjustments for the right reasons, or will you fly by the seat of your pants, get emotional, and start making irrational decisions? And I think I fall into that latter bucket many, many times throughout my career. Discipline is so, it's talked about often, but it's rarely practiced. Okay. Well, I want to offer a mea culpa to everyone. I certainly have fallen prey to all of those reasons why traders fail. But for me, I think the biggest reason, actually, I know the biggest reason I failed for a long part of my career is due to the fact that I suffered from what's called strategy drift. I was someone who would build a strategy, spend a lot of time on it, think I have a winner, and then start trading it. And if it does well for a little while, I'm feeling good about myself. I'm watching my account grow, maybe quickly, maybe slowly. Either way, things are looking good. And then as soon as I hit that first drawdown, or as soon as I have that 2-week stretch where I just haven't made any money, I haven't lost anything, but I've also not made any money, all of a sudden I'm either freaking out or I'm losing interest. Either way, that's a bad thing. And then what do? I go back to the drawing board and try to create another strategy. Sometimes it's another strategy on another product. I've traded everything in my career. I started out in stocks, and I moved to commodities. Then I went to options. Then I came back to stocks. And now I do a little bit of stocks and options, and that's kind of where I'm comfortable. And that's, I think, where I'm going to stay for a while. But strategy drift has been absolutely a major detriment to my career. Oh, there we go. I had a slide for it. Now, why is strategy drift? Why can that be so hard and so stunting to your growth as a trader? Well, let's kind of go through the process of strategy building, because this will kind of set the scenario for why this is such a bad thing. First thing you need to do is you got to come up with an idea, right? I want to be a breakout buyer of stocks on an intraday time frame. Okay, that's a concept of an idea. Or maybe I want to build strategies that exploit short conditions, selling stocks in a down tape, and I want to be getting short stocks that are falling for technical reasons. Whatever there's no shortage of ideas, right? Anyone can come up with ideas, but you first have to come up with that idea, and then the next step is to model that idea. So how does that look? So let's say my idea conception is I want to buy heavily shorted stocks that are breaking out to new 20-day highs because I think they're ripe for a short squeeze. Okay, well, how do I model that idea? Well, I need to start figuring out what's the best breakout. Is it a 20-day breakout is the best thing? Is it a 15-day breakout? Is it a 50-day? Okay. Do I need to place any filters in place? Like, do I need to have a requirement that a stock has a minimum of 100,000 shares traded every day, or 1 million shares traded every day? Does it have to be above or below any certain moving average or the VWAP or anything like that? I got to go through that process of modeling what this idea actually looks like. Once I've done that, then I need to start testing the idea. I need to start running back tests. I need to see how the equity curve looks. Is this an equity curve that is sloping upward through a process of ideally hundreds and hundreds of trades? Are the drawdowns too severe? And if they're not too severe, will I be able to stomach them? I mean, I mentioned earlier that frequently I would find myself off track just because I found myself in a drawdown where, had I maybe run some smart back tests and noticed that, yes, from time to time, this strategy will have a 10% drawdown from time to time, but it always comes back. Have I done that work to put myself in the right headspace? And then once I've tested the idea and found out the pitfalls, then I need to go in and optimize, right? Okay, I see that the drawdowns are a little bit too big. Well, how can I change those drawdowns? How can I minimize them a little bit? Well, that's where you start tweaking with some of the parameters. Maybe I need to trade stocks that have a higher float, or maybe I need to trade stocks that are a significant distance away from a moving average, or maybe a 10-day breakout is not strong enough. I need a 20-day breakout. Optimization is a process that all by itself can take a lot of iterations. And then once I've done that, then I need a forward test. I need to kind of like forward testing might be another word for a phrase for paper trading, right? I need to paper trade this strategy and see how that goes. Okay, and that how long do I do that? Well, everyone's got a different answer for that. I guess it's just it's whatever makes you feel comfortable, right? And that could be 1 week of forward testing. It could be 1 month. It could be 1 quarter, right? Either way, it takes time. And then next, you got to put money to work. After you've done the forward testing and the paper trading, then you got to make that hurdle. You got to put the money to work. You got to do live trades, because listen, the real world, as much as you want it to model your tests or to look like your models, it just rarely works that way. There's slippage involved. There's liquidity issues depending on the types of stocks you're trading. So you have to put real money to work. And hopefully you're doing it with small money, so that if there was a gotcha out there that you hadn't considered, at least it won't take you out of the business. And then once you've done that and you're putting money back to work, you put some time into it, and this is where I found myself, is that I would do the strategy, it's working, and then boom, I hit that drawdown. I hit that thing. I didn't forward test enough, or maybe I didn't optimize enough, or I didn't really mentally prepare myself for the drawdown, even though I saw that, yeah, this strategy has a 10% drawdown. Well, now I find myself at a 10% drawdown, and it's 4 weeks in, and I'm not really making any headway, not really clawing back. What the heck? And then boom, I'm right back to square one. And this is where I found myself in the spring of 2007. Now, all of this stuff here is very, very time consuming, okay? It's all incredibly important. You have to do these steps. You have to come up with the idea. You have to model it. You have to test it, then optimize it, then paper trade it, then put your money to work. All of these things take time. They take iterations. You have to do hundreds and hundreds of trades and hundreds of simulations, ideally, if you're doing it right. All of this takes time, and it costs money. Now, I'm setting that stage for you because what we have found is there's a way to let AI perform all of this work for you, so that our job is simply to execute. There are ways to leverage artificial intelligence in 2019 that can have all of this pre-work done for you. You can have an AI operate from a set of base strategies that are continually optimized every day. And you can have all these strategies available to you and pick and choose the ones that have the best statistical chance to work in this current environment, and operate that strategy today, and tomorrow you can operate a different strategy. This is so incredibly powerful. I mean, think back to what I was saying before. I would put, me personally, Sean McLaughlin, would put all this time into creating a strategy and doing all that work that we talked about. And then I would start executing the strategy. Well, as soon as that strategy doesn't work anymore, I'm back to square one. I got to go create a whole new strategy. This takes time and this takes effort. Meanwhile, you still got to pay rent. You still got to buy food. You got to pay your car payment, right? You need the money. With AI, instead of having just one strategy, you can have multiple strategies. You can have a bucket of strategies that have all been back tested, have all been optimized, all done through machine learning, all done hands off for you. Your job is simply to follow the strategies that are presented to you on a daily basis that have statistical edge. And your job is basically to become a portfolio manager. You can have trades done for you or selected for you. Your job is simply just to get into them, knowing that you have edge on your side, And then you just become a portfolio manager, making sure nothing goes haywire, and you're cutting your losers and things like that. So from here, I would like to kick the presentation over to my colleague Michael, who is going to show you an actual demonstration of how he uses AI to manage his day-to-day trading. And so, Michael, I'm going to move the screen over to you. You
Sure
should have
thing.
it there in a second. And Michael, why don't you show us how you use AI, because you are using it every day, and give people some real-world examples of what this could look like.
Okay, so if I've done that right, you guys should be able to see a little window here. So just I can get some confirmation. Looks good. All right, so like Sean, I've been trading for about the same time. I traded through that 2007 collapse, and I completely understand what you're talking about, where things that were done prior to that just stopped working entirely. There was trading strategies that people were using and loving and making them nice and fat and happy. And when that kind of environment changed, the traders that were left alive, like Sean was talking about, were the ones that decided to change with it. So with trying to figure out how to build, and I'm going to go a little bit into the nitty gritty quickly on how this works, but when you're back testing a strategy, you can essentially spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out what works for you. So this is a strategy that I just built this morning. It's a very basic technical strategy, really not too concerned with the details, but when you're going in and you're optimizing this, you can see that there's periods that this strategy worked fantastically, and then periods where not so much, right? We had a couple nice upswings here, and then a couple hard downswings here, and then a couple nice upswings here, and a couple hard downswings here. And what I've noticed with my trading, and I've seen with a lot of other trading, and Sean just told you about himself, is that when you have these drawdown periods, it's quite easy for a trader to get frustrated and to give up and to go, try a different strategy, a different security type, a different way to trade entirely. The other thing that I've noticed, again, from myself, and I've seen a lot of traders, is even if they have a strategy and they believe in the strategy and they've taken all of the time and energy that Sean was talking about to build it, they quite often won't follow it. It's that discipline that he had. I was actually taking notes when he was doing that, and I made it big and bold and circled it a few times, because that was my problem as well. I would spend hours upon hours when the market was closed and everything was turned off, and I would crunch numbers and go over charts, and I would come up with this nice strategy, and then when the lights turned on the next day, that was gone. So what we've done, and what we think the power of AI is to detach yourself from that. There's a something that's essentially just called, I call it like a time commitment bias, right? If you spend 2 seconds trying to find something and it works or it doesn't work, you're less committed than if you spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to find that same thing. So essentially what we've done is we've taken all of these strategies together. There's about 50 of them, and we've optimized them, like Sean was talking about, to avoid this strategy drift, where with a simple tweak to this strategy, just adding some short interest along with it, I've moved the strategy to look something like this, where the drawdowns are much less pronounced and a lot less of a swing. So when you're trading this, it's going to be a little bit easier, but the point is that this strategy will degrade just like this one did, right? All strategies degrade over time. Everything that somebody has done in the trading world at some point will stop working, the next day or the next week or the next month or the next year, you never know. So where we try to leverage machine learning is by taking all of these strategies, running an optimization like this on them every single night, and then presenting people with basically just what's working. So how do I use this? And again, more importantly, how do I use this to detach myself from the demons I had? So I actually highlighted the demons that Sean was talking about there, with the big losses and the position sizing and the undisciplined. And you could really kind of group those into a whole undisciplined column. You know, you talk to any trader, they talk about their demons are generally over trading and trading too large. So basically the way to detach yourself from this, the way to detach yourself from trading too much and from trading too large, is to have a fully defined plan before you go into basically any trading environment and any trading market. And that's what's presented to you each and every day. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick view of what it is I'm looking at before I get into things a little bit too much. Here's our Brokerage Plus window, which essentially just connects our system to Interactive Brokers so that you can trade through Interactive Brokers with this by just clicking on a couple things in the system here. Then there is these different windows, and all of these represent one of our machine learning AIs. Here is Holy Grail, which you could think of just as the official release, right? Here is more of kind of a beta product where we get to play with some newer, kind of more cool strategies. And right here is your alpha type strategy right here, where all of the kind of new playground comes into play. So what you can do is within these windows, they will give you trades that will have both a profit target and a stop loss right at. So you can click at this HMI, which you can actually see I'm in a little bit of, and I bought a little bit of down here, and the flags on the screen tell you where you sell, which is a good way to review your trading after the fact. But the beauty of this is that because you're not doing the hunting and the pecking, I've found that it actually detaches me from my trading, so that this isn't my symbol, it's Holly's symbol. So what does that allow me to do personally? Because one of my main demons when it comes to being undisciplined was that bullheadedness that I was right. You know, I spent forever building this strategy. I spent forever stalking the symbols from it to try to figure out what worked. I spent all of this time and emotional and physical capital to kind of put all these things together. So then what comes of it is that even if the market is telling me that I'm wrong, even if the price is telling me that I'm wrong, you know, there might be news that comes out that tells me that I'm wrong. Takes you a lot longer, and it's a lot harder to associate that in your head to say, okay, this is not working, move on. So if the symbol is given to you by someone else, it almost allows you to deflect blame, which is usually a very bad thing in trading. But for this type of situation, I think it's very good. So what we've done is we've kind of split the trading world into two, right? There's the people out there who want to hunt and peck, right? They're the people who want to go and find the alpha inside of a system like this, where, you know, we know the statistics of these trades are on our side. We've had this system for a few years now, but then there's some people who just want to let the trades flow to them. And with that, you can have all of these kind of automatically traded for you. So kind of as Sean alluded to, what it does is it pushes you from being a trader to a portfolio manager. So kind of the way I look at it, and it's a bit silly, but I'm sure you guys have, I think it's Shark Tank down there and it's Dragon's Den up here, where people come in and they pitch you an idea, and the investors decide whether or not it's something they want to invest in or something they want to do. So what I'll do is, as Holly, we call our AI, presents us with these symbols, I can take a look at them and I can say, okay, is this something that I believe based off of my eye and been trading for so long that I think is going to work, or I think that is going to continue. And I find that separation is really the biggest part of AI. It's not so much that there's any kind of magic with AI and machine learning over doing this type of work yourself. It's the separation of, I am now waiting for this stream of information to come to me, deciding which of these things are super interesting, and then kind of moving from there. So just going to show you kind of a old morning routine for me and a new morning routine for me. And an old morning routine for me is probably looks a lot of the same as what everybody else does, where they get up in the morning and they go through and they scan they'll have some sort of a gap list window, and they'll go through and they'll scan all of their gappers in the morning, and they'll try to figure out what's in the news, what's gapping up and what's gapping down, and why it is. And then from there, they'll go into, okay, what's the market doing? What's the latest news of the day? What's the latest news in different markets, right? What's Bitcoin doing? What's Forex doing? All this type, what news events are coming? And what we found is that by the time that the bell opens, the bell rings and everyone's open and ready to go, you're exhausted. You're a couple hours into the day already. You're tired. You've kind of burned up all of your intellectual bandwidth so far throughout the day. And then from there, then you need to perform, and then the action needs to start. Whereas what I do now is I simply open up this platform. I know that these strategies have run overnight, and that expand one of these windows, that I will be presented with. For example, there is 6 strategies here today. There is 4 long and 2 short strategies. So I know that of everything that's going on in the market today, it's been filtered in, it's been kind of utilized as a way to just present the information to me. So it's not that that initial work is not existent anymore, not important. It's more to do with the fact that I don't have to spend as much time doing it. So I'm then able to focus on some other things, focus on my health, maybe work out or meditate, drink some water, eat a good breakfast, get ready for the day physically, knowing that technologically has saved me a lot of this time and energy. So then when the market opens up, I'm already in a state where I am ready to receive this information and then just play with it from there. From there, there'll be live streaming trades that will come through all day long that will say, here is where this AI in its back tests and in its statistics thinks that is a good place to buy, and here's where it thinks a good place a stop is, and here's how long you should hold it, and all of the information that you need for a trade. But the important thing is that because I'm not scanning the market and I'm not clicking through a bunch of different symbols, and I'm not trying to figure out all of the different things that can kind of happen throughout the day and have 20 different screens up and a bunch of different windows, because what you're seeing right now is all that I look at. I can intensely focus on managing my positions and managing this portfolio that I'll build as the day goes on. So just a little bit more of showing you guys around the system. If you click on something and you want to place a trade, you can just right click and you can build your own kind of custom scripts, or you can build based off of what the AI suggests. But the important thing for this is it avoids what Sean was talking about before, which is those big losses. Those big losses, which I believe are psychologically way more detrimental than traders think. There's you might be trading and you make a couple bucks, you make a couple bucks, you make a couple bucks, and when you take that big hit, people look at that hit financially and they say, okay, well, that hit hurt me in my pocketbook, right? But really, where this, not so much in your pocketbook, this kind of hits you in your intellectual pocketbook, right? Now all of these emotions that cause these problems that Sean was talking about are heightened, right? You're upset, you're enraged, you're looking to make that money back. A lot of traders will then trade bigger. They'll do revenge trading, where they'll just get into the same kind of stock again. But from here, because I am detached, and you just saw me enter that trade just by clicking a button, the AI has actually done the risk management for me. So I know that on every single trade here that you're going to risk whatever it is that you set up, say $100 or $50, or you want to take 100 shares of each trade, or invest $1,000 into each position. But by having that completely calculated for you, it stops your ability to kind of say, okay, well, this one I really believe in, so I'm going to go double on, because we all know what happens then. or by saying, you know, I'm down a lot today, so let me get bigger, or better yet, just human error. If you are a disciplined trader, there are all times that we have thought we were going to risk X, and it turns out that we risked Y. And so all of these things together, I think, more than the statistics that Holly gives, and more than the strategies and the optimization of the strategies, I think a lot of what it does is it makes sure that you're focused on kind of this one area of the market that a lot of it's been taken care of for you, and you're able just to focus on yourself and to stop all of these undisciplined related things that we've just talked about that will cause these big losses, you know, the poor strategies, the you know, every trader thing under the sun. So I think I'm going to put it back to you, Sean, and then we'll probably open it up for questions after that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I've been answering some questions here back channel from people. Let me
Sure.
bring the screen back to me. One sec. And really, all I have left to show is this slide right here. Look, as Michael said, and we talked about AI and how he uses AI and how it presents you with fantastic edge, putting you kind of removing the hard work of building your own strategies that we talked about at the top of this call. So much time-consuming effort, all good effort to put in, but it takes time, and you only have so much time. So what Michael showed you is how the AI can deliver the trades for you, saving you a lot of time of having to build all your own strategies. Have the AI do that for you, and then all your job now is to become the executor, right? You gotta place the trades and have the trust to know that all the work has been done behind the scenes. So if anyone is interested in learning more about how Trade Ideas can help you with AI, look, there's plenty of AI providers out there, but Trade Ideas can certainly help. If you go to trade-ideas.com/Sean, you can go to my little page on Trade Ideas where you can get a discount code to try it out, to check it out. And we offer training sessions every day of the week where you can get up and running on the software and help you out. So there are a number of questions that are coming in here. So the first question I saw that came in, the person asked, if I choose a strategy amongst the ones proposed, he's talking about the AI strategies, do I need to execute manually, or can I run it in some sort of automatic mode? And that's a great question, Maurizio. You can do both. You can manually trade. You could do one-click trades direct from the Trade Ideas platform into your Interactive Brokers account. That's how many people do it. Or if you're so inclined, we do offer the ability for users to auto trade our strategies, which we didn't really talk a whole lot about in this seminar. Not what we were intending to talk about, but you do have the ability to automate that as well. And I know Michael does a lot of that.
Yes, yeah, and that's the kind of the duality, I guess, of traders that we have using the system. One type wants all of the trades presented to them and they just manage, whereas the other one wants to watch all of the trades come through, and they're picking kind of what they think are the diamonds out of the rough.
Right. Another question came in asking, are the strategies trading real time? He clarified, meaning are they based on real time data? Absolutely. The strategies are based on real time data. This is not end of day data. The way it happens is the strategies that are active with the AI during the day, those strategies are scanning the market, watching price action. And when a stock triggers its entry criteria, then you'll get the real time alert. And then you're on your way. But yeah, it is all based on real-time data for sure. Let's see, what are some other questions here? We got a bunch. Thanks. By the way, thank you everybody. There's so many questions here. This is great. How exactly does AI do all these tedious tasks? Well, that might be a little bit above my pay grade, but it's definitely done by our servers on the back end. They go through and re-optimize every strategy every night. Basically, I mean, I'll give you the elevator pitch on that. It's the machine or servers will basically run back tests on all of our strategies, which, just doing a back test on one strategy takes some time. It's going to do a back test on all 50 or so strategies that we have, and then find the weaknesses in each one and find some, do some tweaks to improve them. And these are all tasks that if we were to do this by hand, if Michael and I were to do this by hand every night for all 50 plus strategies, it'd take us 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we're up to over 2 million scenarios run a night. So that's kind of the main answer, I guess, to that is that the strategies are built by human and then optimized by machine. So it's basically the AI is able to go in and run a strategy and then run it, say, a couple hundred times and figure out which kind of combination of all of the different filters, like Sean was talking about with technical indicators and social indicators and fundamental indicators, which ones actually really kind of hit home when it comes to that particular strategy, make that adjustment, and then run it another couple hundred times. So it's through millions and millions and millions of iterations, which, I really am glad that I don't have to do. And we've got some big servers and big computer power to do it for us.
Yeah. Another question that came in says, how much math knowledge do you need to set this up and use this software? And I kind of laugh at that question. Look, I'm never going to tell anybody that you shouldn't have some basic math knowledge. I mean, that's just a good skill to have in life. But no, Walter, you do not need to be an expert in calculus or advanced trigonometry or anything like that. The strategies, the AI does all the hard work behind the scenes as far as, getting you into stocks that have a statistical edge and strategies that have a statistical edge. Your job really is just to become really good at execution, getting into and out of the trades that the AI suggests give you a good opportunity. And even if you're just one-click trading, you can set it up such that whenever you enter a trade, your stop loss and profit target are also entered so that your stock will get out when it does one of two things, either hits your profit target or hits your stop loss. But no, you don't really need any advanced math for that. Okay, another question is, what is the smallest time frame? Is tick data available for back testing? No, we do not do tick data. It's 1
minute. 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, 1 minute. Okay.
1 minute candles there, about.
Yeah, it's not tick by tick. Let's see. Do I need a Python script to automate the trades between TI Holly and Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation? Great question. And the easy answer is no, you do not. If you were to use Trade Ideas Brokerage Plus product, it's all done for you. It already connects to IB. So you don't need to do any programming on your side. It's a wonderful thing. By the way, we should point out that Interactive Brokers is the only brokerage that offers Brokerage Plus from Trade Ideas. So you guys are in the right place. Another question. Wow, lots of questions. This is great.
Yeah, I like these.
Yeah. Are there strategies that execute options for AI? Unfortunately, Juan, we do not have strategies for options. And, there's a lot of reasons why. I think the biggest reason why is not all options markets are created equal, right? Certainly there's lots of volume in SPY options, but there might not be a lot of volume in some low cap stock that only trades 500,000 shares a day. So it'd be really hard to apply option strategies with AI, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but no, we don't offer any AI strategies for options.
But what a lot of traders will do is they'll use it to find underlyings, and then from there try to build a strategy with it. So kind of use the natural statistical advantage of options on top of the statistical analysis that we give on the AI. So nothing directly for options, but you could use it for kind of finding underlyings to trade options on.
Yes. Another question that came in, is there a description of all the AI strategies? Yes, there is a description. It's a little 1 or 2 paragraph description of what each strategy is attempting to do. Now, keep in mind, the strategies change there's small tweaks to each strategy every day, right? To kind of match whatever the current market environment is rewarding. But the overall broad description of what each strategy is attempting to do, we do have a description of that. That is available on our website. If you go to the address you see on your website, on your screen right now, trade-ideas.com/Sean, you will see up in the header, there's a help section. If you go to the help section, I don't have it in front of me, but there is a way, if you follow the path, that you could find the AI strategies through our website. Okay, let's see. Is it available at Trade Ideas Plus, or is it coming soon? Alex, if I understand your question correctly, AI trading is currently available with Trade Ideas. And it does, you can send your trades from Trade Ideas direct into Interactive Brokers. So yes, that is available to you, Alex, and I will ping you a link right here if you want to learn more about it. I just sent it to you in the questions panel. Another question, are any technical analysis studies incorporated into the strategies? Well, yes. In fact, and Michael could probably elaborate on this more, all of our strategies are taking technical inputs to signal when to get in and when to get out of trades. Michael, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, and I think this helps with, there was another question of does the AI react to basic or breaking news? And basically the way we look at the markets is that most everything is shown through price. So whether it's a traditional kind of from the book technical pattern or an indicator or a volume spike because of breaking news, all of these things are being brought into consideration, which goes back to the kind of brute force power of the machine learning as opposed to doing it yourself, where if you were building a strategy based off a technical pattern, you may not know how a volume spike with breaking news would affect that, but with the simulations run and crunched, it's the AI is looking at all of these different inputs, which is kind of the power, again, going back to how it takes a lot of the work away from you, is because, you know, if you're wondering, okay, how does this technical indicator or how does this fundamental indicator or this news filter affect things, that's been run kind of a few million times through and come up with an answer that's kind of appropriate for this current trading market. So technical, news, statistical, and fundamental in pretty much in every strategy.
Thanks for answering that, Michael. Another question here. This is a great question. He says, okay, are we able to create our own strategies using the AI? The answer is yes and no. Well, actually, no, that's not the right answer. When it comes to the AI, the answer is no. The AI has its own strategies. These are strategies built by our team of traders here at Trade Ideas, and those are proprietary strategies that are being tweaked every night by the machine learning AI. So you are not able to create your own strategies to be used with the AI. Now, you can, if you are a Trade Ideas subscriber, you can build your own strategies within Trade Ideas and have those auto-traded. That's a different discussion than what we're talking about here today. But yes, absolutely, you can create your own strategies within Trade Ideas and backtest them and then have them auto-traded through Interactive Brokers if you like. And somewhat related, another question came in from Brett. Can I build my own strategy and backtest it immediately, or do I have to run the strategy for a while to collect data first? Well, Brett, the first part of your question is yes, you can build your own strategies, and yes, you can backtest it with Trade Ideas software. We give you all the tools to do that and to find out where the weaknesses are in your strategy so that you can make the tweaks and adjustments that you need to do. The second part of your question is, do I have to run the strategy for a while to collect data first? Well, I mean, that's kind of up to you. I think a best practice would be absolutely, yes, you should run back tests and collect data and so you can grow comfortable with what you can expect in a strategy. Are you required to do that before you auto trade it? No, of course not. But I would strongly urge you to make that a best practice. Okay, let's see. Someone asked about is the AI currently available for US stocks, or can we trade other country stocks, and can we trade foreign exchange, things like that, or options? No, the AI with trade ideas, now I'm not speaking for AI from other companies and other providers, but with trade ideas, we only serve US and Canadian stock markets. So while we do pull in options data, but we don't trade options with trade ideas, but it's only with US stocks. So no foreign exchange, no futures, no options, and no cryptocurrencies currently, although we are working feverishly to get cryptocurrency up on the platform soon, so stay tuned on that. Okay, Cynthia, let us know if we're running long on time. We do have a bunch more questions here, so I'll just keep going until you tell us until you say no mas.
Well, we don't have a hard stop, so you can keep going. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Another question came in. This is a great question. This is a question we get all the time. Is this primarily for day traders? And that's a great question. The way that AI, if we're talking about the AI, the way it's currently constructed now is it is intended for day trading. The signals that the trade ideas AI provides are for trades that you intend to close by the end of the day. You're not going to hold any positions overnight. Now, this opens up a door for a discussion that I'm happy to share a blog post I've written with you, Kenneth. If you want to ping me on social media afterwards, I'm at Chicago Sean on Twitter. If you want to reach out to me there, I'll happily share the link with you. But the AI can be a fantastic tool for identifying swing trades. And the reason being is that the fact that all of our trades we get out of by the end of the day, that's just an artificial constraint that we've placed on the platform in service of having us be in cash by the end of every day. The signals that got the AI into a trade, that catalyst could be anything from an explosion of volume, the crossing of a key moving average, yeah, I mean, any number of reasons, but that catalyst doesn't expire at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's just, like I said, that's just an artificial constraint we've placed. That catalyst has the potential to move a stock for several days or several weeks. So if you're a swing trader, you can go, and this is exactly what I do every day. I look through all the trades that the AI did every day. And I prefer swing trading from the long side. That's just my preference. I'm not making any value judgments here. It's just what I like to do. So I'll look through all the long trades that the AI got into today, and I'll look at the daily charts. And if any of those charts on a daily time frame looks compelling to me as a swing trader, I will have that added confidence of knowing that, hey, there's a catalyst in play here that the AI has identified. So there might be that the fact that there's a catalyst may tilt the edges in my favor just slightly. And if you've been trading for any length of time like I have, you know that if you could just tilt the edges in your favor just slightly, over time, over a large number of trades, those edges will play out in your favor. So yes, you can use the AI to help you signal for you trades that may be great candidates for swing trades. But as it's currently constructed on our platform, it is indeed meant for intraday trading. Walter asks, is the AI intuitively logical rather than technical? That's kind of a meta question there. I would say it probably skews more towards technical, unless Michael can tell me otherwise.
No, that's correct. It's looking at kind of a range of finite values and kind of optimizing within that range of finite values.
There we go. All right. Another question came in. What are the commissions that Trade Ideas charges per trade? Well, we don't charge commissions per trade. We are not a broker. Interactive Brokers is your broker. You just have a Trade Ideas subscription, and which costs money, but we don't charge you per trades. You pay whatever your commission rate is with Interactive Brokers. So it doesn't cost you any extra to trade through us, I guess is what I should say. Okay, Matthew asks, this is also a good question. We get this a lot. Would I be able to test this with around $5,000 to see if it gets any traction, or do the strategies need a lot more capital? Well, Matthew, that greatly depends on where you're located geographically. If you're located within the United States of America, unfortunately, our federal regulators have decided that you are unfit to day trade if you have less than 10K or 25K in your account. Do we agree with that? Absolutely not. But those are the rules. Those are the rules we have to play by. Now, if you are located in Canada, like my friend Michael here is, or some other country that's not under the jurisdiction of the of FINRA rules, then yeah, you could day trade with 5K a month, or with 5K in your account. I'm all in favor of people trading with less money, because when you're testing something out, when you're new to something, you want to keep your trades small. You want to keep them manageable, so that if anything goes haywire, if you make any wrong decisions, or hit any fat finger any trades, that kind of thing, it won't be too costly. It'll be a valuable lesson to you, but it won't crush your account. Okay, let's see. How can you view TI Brokerage Plus functionality for automation? Blair, I will. Michael, are you able to see the questions panel? Maybe you
I
can.
am, yeah. I'm reading along with
do
you.
you see Blair's question there? Maybe if you could send a link for me to him that links to our Brokerage Plus page, where he can learn more about Brokerage Plus.
Sure. Yep.
Thank you.
Will do.
Okay. Does Trade Ideas work with any other broker, or will I have to use yours or any specific broker? Joshua, the only brokerage that this works with is our friends here, Interactive Brokers. That's why we are doing this webinar for them. Interactive Brokers is the, as far as we're concerned, the most forward-thinking broker out there. They recognize the future of the industry, and they recognize providing tools for their customers to make them the best traders they can be. So as it stands right now, Interactive Brokers is the only place to go, which, hey, we're happy about. Interactive Brokers offers some of the best commissions in the industry, so we're happy to partner with them. Let's see. Okay, another great question. Does the AI monitor a large watch list which we can pick, or is there a predefined watch list that it monitors? Stephen, great question. So you are not able to preset the stocks that the AI will trade. The AI is scanning the entire marketplace, and it's picking stocks that satisfy whatever its triggers are, okay? It could be anything from Apple to some $10 stock. It's the whole gamut. The AI is kind of agnostic as far as what type of stock it trades. It just wants to get into the best opportunities where it sees an edge, okay? Now, if you were doing your own strategies within Trade Ideas, absolutely, you could point those strategies to a particular watch list that you can build. But as far as the AI goes, you will not have any customization as far as what stocks it will trade. Now, you can choose not to trade certain stocks, especially if you're doing it manually. You can pick and choose which stocks you want to get into. But then you're getting into the problem of, if you're doing that, then you're not putting yourself in the best position to capture the edge that this strategy has exhibited through all of its back tests and forward tests. All right, let's see what else we have here. Just to confirm, did you say that the strategies are built by humans and optimized by machines? Yes, that is what we are saying. The strategies were built by our team of traders. Michael here is very instrumental in building many of the strategies that we have here in the platform. So we build them, or humans build them, and then the machines make them better. Hope that
and I think
sense.
that's kind of an important thing to ping on too, where what makes an AI like this different from just throwing darts at the wall and getting an equity curve or something that makes sense. And that's kind of the difference, where we're talking here about kind of a merging of man and machine, where we have some really smart traders who have been in the industry for many years, working with us and consulting with us, and they will build strategies based off of what they have been doing and trading and working in the market. And as Sean was talking about, with that strategy drift that always happens, we let the AI deal with that. So we build the strategies for it, and then as the strategies drift and some become more profitable, they come to the forefront. Some become less profitable, they go in the background. And then each night they kind of change a little bit, because sometimes the strategy isn't binary. It doesn't work or not work. It works, but you have to make some changes. In high volatility markets, maybe you need to look at names that are a little more chill, and in low volatility markets, you need to go after more high beta names. So you know, the underlying strategy is human built, and then the machine learning is kind of taking what the human has quote unquote taught it and then narrowing it down for kind of what's working in the current environment.
Thanks, Michael. Another question I have here, somebody was asking about performance. And we don't want to run afoul of any rules here. We're not supposed to talk according to the laws of the land. We're not supposed to talk about performance here on the platform. But if you do want to reach out to either of us privately, you can. I think we had our contact info here on the next slide. There we go. You can send an email to myself or Michael, and we're happy to forward information to you to help with that information or with that data. Let's see, does AI utilize level 2 data? No, we do not utilize level 2 data. All we need is level 1 data. All we need is the inside market and last sale is actually last sale is what triggers entries. I could go off on a philosophical discussion of how useless level 2 data is these days, but I'll spare you that in the interest of keeping us all friends. But no, we do not we do not factor in level 2 data for trading decisions. Walter asks, what's Sean's Twitter handle again? I got it up here on the screen. It's @ChicagoSean, all one word. And Michael here is Bonpara, all one word, Bonpara. I got it right there on the screen for you guys. Let's see. Can you give us a figure about, oh, I lost it. Where was it? Can you give us a figure about how many strategies are in the system and what is the churn rate of strategies? There are, Michael touched upon it earlier, there's approximately a little bit more than 50 base strategies within the system currently. And on any typical trading day, depending on market conditions, we'll have anywhere from 5 to 15 of those strategies active if they're displaying an edge. Yeah, I think that answers that question. Let's see. Walter asking about trial. Again, reach out to us privately. We're happy to hook you up with information on that, certainly. Do you have any video link for IB set up? Yes, we do. We have a YouTube channel with videos that show you exactly how to set up Holly AI, Brokerage Plus with Interactive Brokers.
I can link that.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Yeah, if you could send them that link, that'd be great. I mean, really, the short answer is if you go to YouTube and just search trade-ideas, you'll likely find our channel pretty quickly and you'll be able to find information on AI. Okay, let's see. We're starting to get caught up here. Another good question here. What is the success ratio of your strategies? Well, the success ratio changes all the time. Again, we have more than 50 base strategies, and the strategies get tweaked and twerked every night based on what's working in the market. And then we publish for all strategies that are active on the current trading day. Let's say we have 5 strategies active. We will publish what the win rate is based on the most recent back test of that current strategy. So you'll be able to see that. And that's a good question because a lot of people who use AI, they might pick and choose the strategies they want. They're comfortable trading. Like for example, I might come into the day having a long bias, and I see that there's 5 long strategies active today and 3 short strategies. So I might choose to ignore the 3 short strategies and only take trades that come from the 5 long strategies. And amongst those 5 long strategies, I might say to myself, I'm only interested in taking trades from the strategies that have a greater than 65% win rate. If there's any strategy that has like a 58% win rate, I'm not going to trade that one. That's a decision you can make, and it will be published on the platform and you can see it. Okay, I think we are caught up here. There are a lot of questions. By the way, thank you everyone for all these questions. There's a lot of great questions today. Okay, I think this is the last question, and then we're pretty good for everything we're going to answer here. Is, do you have any strategies that look for pairs trading for stocks that are correlated, such as TLT and XLF? We do not have any pairs trading strategies. I know pairs trading is a very popular strategy for a lot of people, but no, our AI does not do pairs trading strategies. That's not to say it's not going to come down the road. I mean, we're always building new strategies all the time. Michael, in fact, here on the call, he's always engaged in testing out new strategies that we can build and that might have some promise. So Mike, take a note.
I will.
Let's build a pairs trading strategy, would you?
I wrote that down.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we've reached the end of all of our questions. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to send emails to myself or Michael. You see our email addresses here on the screen, or reach out to us on Twitter. Happy to engage there. And if you're interested in trying out trade ideas, you could visit that web address you see at the bottom, trade-ideas.com/Sean, where you'll find a discount code where you can give it a try. Cynthia, I think we'll turn it back over to you, and please accept our deepest thanks for letting us do this and interact with your customers.
Yes, thank you very much.
Terrific presentation, Mike and Sean, thank you so much. I also want to thank everyone for participating with us here this afternoon. This is going to conclude our session, but I do want to remind you that we have been recording today's event, and each of you will get a direct link to today's follow-up soon after the session ends. So if you do want to come back and review any of the concepts that we've discussed, simply watch your email later on today. Also want you to be aware that we are going to be posting both the recording and the webinar notes on the Interactive Broker website. You can locate any of our previous recordings via the education menu. There's a webinar section, so just click through there and you can find today's webinar will be posted as soon as I can get it compiled and uploaded to our servers. So with that, I want to thank all of you for participating with us here this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much to Trade Ideas and Sean McLaughlin and Michael Naus for today's presentation. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.